No, the clapping is for me to know where to start my edit.
Okay. Right.
All right, here we go. Yo, what's up, my people, mi gente? Welcome to another episode of What's Next. I'm your host, Lou Maroto, and today we have another winner, another special guest. I'll introduce him in a minute, but first, let me say thank you to all of those that are presently supporting my channel. I appreciate you. I appreciate those likes and follows and subscribes. Thank you. All right, it means a lot. As this is something new, this is part 2 in life. So we already know part 1 is just about done, thank God. So let me say thank you to Simpatico Real Estate. Simpatico Real Estate is one of the largest real estate companies here in Florida, if not the U.S. If you're looking for residential, commercial type properties, give Simpatico Real Estate a call. We're a family-owned business, and I'll put the link below. Also, I want to say thank you to my boy Jovan from the Bushel Stop. All right. Again, I'll put the link on Bushel Stop and where you guys can go purchase their materials. But they're one of the largest landscaping supply stores here also in Florida. They have about 6 different locations. So if you're looking for residential, commercial landscaping needs, give my boy Jovan at the Bushel Stop, and they'll take care of you. All right. So with that said, we're gonna start episode 21 today, and that's what's up. Cause I remember when we had like 2 episodes up. So for me, hey, I'm double digits now.
Nice.
Double digits now. So
get it going, baby.
You know,
content.
As long as we get people to like, subscribe.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
Share, baby.
Share the channel move.
That's it.
So with that said, let me introduce to you my boy, my brother from another mother, my man Goni.
That's right.
Big
A.
Big musician, rapper, hip hop head, b-boy. I'm taking it back to what, 70s or 80s?
Oh man, I probably got down with hip hop in like 79 was when I first was like listening to and watching people do splits and little fashion things and
So that was the beginning of hip hop.
Yeah.
And breakdancing and all, right? Or was it a little earlier?
I mean, it was kind of like, I don't know, 79 was like splits, a little bit of up rocking, definitely some electric boogie and robot. And this was like Horace O'Brien Middle School in Key West. That was the first time I seen, kids rocking Jordache and Nike Cortez.
BVDs.
Yeah.
Yo, so before we get into the nitty gritty, the meat and potatoes of hip hop and your experience in the industry, give us a little information about yourself. Like, where were you born and raised? Siblings?
So I was born in Hialeah. My mother's Cuban. My father is Puerto Rican and from Spain. That's my last name is from Spain. Goni. It's a place and. They moved down here. I guess he found, they went to New York in the 30s and then they moved down here. So my father was born here. My mother was born in Miami. But my mother's family comes from the Keys, you know what I mean? Key West Cuban, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my uncle was the mayor at one point. My aunt was Miss Key West. So we got a lot of history down there. We had a Cuban restaurant way back. In 79,
yeah, remember
back when I lived there.
You speaking about it.
I moved there for 2 years, so that was like, and down there was when I first seen the funk as far as like up close. A dude went from having a rock collection to like this whole hip hop collection. But
gotcha.
Yeah, that was like the Jordache era, But yeah, and then so I grew up in Miami. I was here for like when the Mariel boat lifts happened and whatnot.
So now we're talking about the 80s, right? 80.
Yeah, well, no, 82? Late 70s.
That was still 70s?
Yeah, I was still in Miami. So, I got to experience that, like, firsthand, in school and, like, the wave and everything and how it changed the dynamic of Miami.
And this is at what age, Goni?
This is, like, 7, 8 years old. 76, 77.
Did you grow up with? Do you have other siblings?
Yeah, my little brother Arlo. He's a elevator builder,
Okay,
operator, all of that. He's an electrician, but he went ahead and went to the elevator thing. He's out
That's
in Las
what's up.
Vegas. Yeah.
So just you and your brother.
Just me and my bro.
Okay.
Shit.
So let's
That's
talk
enough.
about what's you want to give a shout out to your brother?
Yo, love you, Arlo P. You already know, man. You seen Johnny the other day. You know,
Word up.
boogers. They haven't seen each other in a while, so it was cool.
Yeah,
I surprised Johnny with him because we went to the banana boat. We ate, and then I stopped by where Johnny's at.
Yeah.
Rolled up on him.
Yo, so what? Let's talk past middle school, 7, 9. Let's talk about high school.
High school, so
What you
high
get down
school
with?
was like a bad thing for me. I ended up I started high school in Vero Beach, but really I never got past junior high school.
Okay.
Yeah, and then so a few years after that, I got kicked out of Lake Worth High School, and then a few years after that, it was I went and did the GED thing.
Yo, let me ask you a question real quick.
Yeah.
Now, besides the grades and being cutting or whatever, what actually caused you to leave school?
So I got expelled from one school just for crazy absences, fights, and stuff, right? And then so when I went to this new school, Lake Worth, they were like, "Listen, the principal was like, you can't. You got very few chances, and that I think I wore those out in like 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were like, yeah, you're done.
So now you out of high school. You're what, 16, maybe 17?
Getting my first job at Wendy's.
That's what I'm gonna ask you. Like,
Yeah.
what's next for Goni once you leave high school? And
Wendy's and crime, Wendy's and crime, because where I left, I started like I got it was crazy. I guess I was a bored kid that wanted to be like my father, and hearing the stories about him, so I was emulating his bullshit.
Him doing things back in the days in the
Right,
streets.
and plus
like
I
that?
was an adventurous kid. Right, yeah, right. Hearing the war stories.
Gotcha.
And so aside from that, I was also just a wild ass kid.
Yo, can I
And
ask?
I felt boxed in school. Like I felt like the curriculum wasn't really for me.
Which one?
Any public school that I went to.
Any curriculum you talking about?
I mean, I never went to private school, so, but I could tell that probably wouldn't have worked either. Yeah.
It just would have been. Only change was the uniform.
They don't cater to creative minds, like kids that are like daydreaming. Now they do more. But back then in the 70s, bro, it was like, this is what it is,
Yeah, listen.
In the 80s, same thing.
I gotta give my audience a little heads up. Like, Goni is a philosophical knowledge. Remember, we all remember that one movie that they called the dude Knowledge. But I called Johnny the same thing. I was like, yo, you guys are just full of knowledge because you've
self-education takes you further than any, even public education, of course, or college. That definitely, if you utilize it right.
But what I'm trying to say is you guys have that knowledge because you guys experienced it. You didn't read it off a book.
Well, no, we read books, but yeah, we walked through it. And then reading books helps you kind of like when you get a little bit older. And
yeah, but how many kids at 13, 14, 15, 16 in that era really
if I could tell you what I was doing
when
I was 15, like we got kicked out of the city, Like my first crimes were like movie status. So, and older dudes were using
Can we talk about anything?
I'll just say this, right? Older dudes were using me when I was like 14 or 15 because I was down,
Yeah.
So they would use me to do some insane shit, like, all black. It's crazy. And like my mom was like, oh yeah, we gotta get the fuck out of here. She got me out of there. And then coming here wasn't like, it wasn't that it was that much better, but it was better for me because I realized my creative over here. I was kind of like up there was a little bit. My mother was trying to escape Miami, and she went too damn far. But you know,
Largo.
I understand why. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And she needed to get away from all that was the past for a while and rebuild. So with that in mind, you know, I respect and love her decision, but it was stifling for me. Um, that's where I learned about race. Yeah, I learned about race in that little town up there, and so for me, it's a lot of bad memories, man. You
Yeah.
know, but in retrospect, they were great lessons. They were
It
really,
set you up
well,
mentally
it
for the
just had me
future.
looking at self different.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I really connected with hip hop at that point. You know what I mean? Like during that time, I really became an all out b boy and just into what it is to be Latino because it that was a place where I was an anomaly. There was like three of us, I think,
Mm-hmm.
in my whole school. So, you know, there was a lot of you Italian. That was the first time I ever was like dating a girl.
Fango.
So check it out. I had this girlfriend. We went to the little, I forget what it is, a school
Like
thing.
a club
We got
or
the pictures and everything, you know. And
like a
then
prom?
so one day we were watching the news. You know, I used to go to her house on the weekend. She had a whole farm.
A whole farm?
They got, yeah, her father was a farmer, you know, but like
Okay.
had acres, like, you know, they had dough. And yeah, we was watching the news, but you know, the Cubans, the refugees. So he's like, and I was like, yeah, that's what my mother's family is. And so there was like a phone call that was made, like my little girlfriend came in crying, and yeah, my mom's came and scooped me, and that was it.
That was it.
That was it, bro.
Over like Rover.
Over like Rover on some Cuban shit.
Yo, so what was your first in your opinion? What is the definition of a b-boy? What is a b-boy?
So a b-boy, like to me, is really deep because they have this big debate going on. But a b-boy to me is just somebody who really like practiced something, some type of. There was always something creative about b-boys, or the people that were around the creative, you know, understood it and were into it. The fans of the creative, right? You can't really do this without fans. That's how it all went down. But yeah, a b-boy is just like a personal style, man. It's a spirit almost. It's kind of like it comes from a struggle, right? It's definitely American born, you know what I mean? But the roots are African, the roots are European, the roots are everything. And so, like, a b-boy just, you know, you wear that. It's not necessarily what you wear. Fashion is definitely being pushed as to be a new element of hip hop because that's how we used to identify each other, was like what we were wearing. Before you didn't have to know somebody to know they were down with the culture,
Right.
or they listened to Run DMC, or they were like you know, b-boys or whatever.
Yep.
But it's way deeper than just that. So,
Bro, let me tell you.
I think there's like a big spiritual aspect to being a b-boy.
Yeah, you know, to each his own, right? People have their own opinions and thoughts, but hey, it is a little, it's deep, you know what I mean? Like
There's a criminal element because of the poverty that
there
it
is,
comes from.
but for the most part, the purpose of b-boy is to kind of, you know, you're in a group, a clique, or whatever, a gang, but you're not really like, you know, you're dancing.
It's doing something better than what you could be doing.
Than what you could be doing, correct.
You know, and there's a lot of sad stories about that in hip hop where people, you know, they had this blessing, but sometimes it ain't enough, and then you go back to the street stuff and they lose
You
their
revert
life.
to what you know.
Yeah, so you know, but I think it saved a lot of people's lives. I think it allowed human beings to tell their truths in all races, because people in Japan rap, you know, it's not just rap either.
The dancing, man, the
Yeah,
culture.
breaking is in the Olympics. So, and I didn't say breakdancing. I said breaking, b-boying. B-boy and breaking is in the Olympics. So that was something that the New York City Breakers and people back in the day dreamed of. You know, they were set to do it back then. They just thought it was going to happen.
They made the foundation, you know? I mean, that's where it started.
I think, you know, I think the best thing about hip hop is that it started a dialogue among the races and the religions and all these divisions that human beings have. It started a dialogue. I mean, it kind of refined a dialogue that rock started, you know, and through opening the mind through chemicals and other things like that. But just stepping out of the box and like understanding like these are just human beings, and the shit that we've been taught maybe isn't real, right? And you know, I think hip hop is responsible for at least the dialogue that's going on nowadays. It wouldn't be where it is right now, like with relations or people being honest about how they feel, even on a lot of levels in society.
I got you.
Yeah,
Let's
so
let's
that's how I think it affects the culture. And
no, that's a great definition of what you see
American
b-boy and that.
yeah,
I consider me and myself a b-boy back
you
in the
are
days
100%.
because that's all I knew was hip hop, the culture, the rapping, the ciphers in between people, how, like you said, your fashion, how
Yeah,
you dress, your BVD shirts, your Lee jeans, you
yeah.
had the belt with your name on it, your nickname, whatever.
I'm wearing Lee's today.
There you
Yeah,
go.
and the blue.
But back then we wore when it first started, it was black, burgundy. It
Yeah,
had mad colors,
yeah. I
It was,
got 'em.
it was beautiful. I know you got you're a big polo guy, right?
I love. I'm a low life, so
Low life forever.
polo
So
life. Yeah.
polo, you know what I'm saying? So, um, but yeah, I had everything, bro. And I just, friends of mine that we grew up together, they when we're chilling out and reminiscing, they're like, yo, I remember you when you had like 6 rings on your hand.
That's right.
And I still got the necklace. The necklace, the way you wore your cap, your stance with the perpendicular toes right there.
Sure.
Yo, it was crazy. I grew up in the '80s, so hey,
Yeah.
some of you people out there, you missed a good time.
Yeah, it was different because it isn't like it was then. Like people compete with breaking now, but back then, man, it was like it was almost mystical. You didn't know what you were gonna run into. You could run into like one kid that could wax your whole crew.
Yeah, it was just nice like that.
Yeah, so it was different then, man. There was like a whole different vibe. Once the music blew it up commercially. I believe the b-boys originally blew it up because people were attracted to the breakers and what you could do with your body.
Yeah, it was
Kids
amazing.
in Idaho were doing windmills, by
Yeah.
'85. So after Beat Street and Breaking came out, but like the music kind of commercialized it. That was the beginning of it, but I think it needed to happen, man. A lot of people became financially liberated through this, you know what I mean?
True.
And opened a lot of other businesses and employed a lot of other people. Some of them squandered their money, but some people did good with it. And aside from the financial liberation end of it, like I said, man, the dialogue, um, which it's still there. The companies don't push it, but there's still a lot of good music out there. It's like
There
the
is.
'80s. You have to mine for it, and I tell people this all the time. It's like the '80s where they're not playing the good stuff on the radio, right? You got to go and you got to find it. They're not pushing the good stuff. The people, and that's just reality. There's a big plot with that, in my opinion, because the people that own the private prisons also own the record labels, right?
And I don't know about that, but
Yeah.
we'll take it there in a little bit.
Okay.
Tell me. All right, so you're past high school. You're working. You're making. You're making $1.15. So you think?
So
At what point? Excuse me, Goni. At what point is like when you decide like I like what I'm listening to. I like this culture. I want to be a part of it, and you start writing.
So this is how that went down. I was gonna do this architecture school thing. I think I was going to like
Bro, I went to the
South
same
Tech
thing.
for drafting.
I went to New York Tech and
I went to South Tech because I was like in an alternative school because I got expelled. Remember?
numerous
So
times.
I went to think it was South Tech for drafting, right? And that was the plan because I like to draw also. But I ended up moving out and getting a job and living behind the mall, like I was telling you, at like 17, I think it was. And I worked at the Baguette, and then I ended up at Jordan Marsh selling shoes, which was like my first real gig, right? So this kid, JB Ski, James Brown from First Street in Riviera, I used to go into his store. He worked at Barron's Men's Clothing. Remember Barron's? The old man shop where you get the Kangols and the suits?
Yep.
So he used to work there. So I'd go in there looking at Kangos and looking for the BBDs. They sell silkies and all that, scarves and all that. So, I was into fashion early, but I was always fresh. Always, right? I'd be wearing a blazer and a Kangol, some pieces, So I went in and he was a rapper and he started writing rhymes for me. So one day, this chick was in the mall, young girl, and my age, and I did a freestyle.
Did she ask you to do it?
Nah, I was just trying to kick it to her.
Yeah, okay, I got you.
And I was just open like that. I would talk to girls or whatever. So I kicked her. She's walking in, and me and my friends are hanging out in front because we work there and live behind it, right? So I kicked a freestyle off the top of the head, and it was really, really dope. I still know it, but I ain't gonna kick it. But I'm just saying. So I just recognized the talent, and I had done that before in the house with my mom and made her laugh a lot. So I kind of was like,
I went
on my own mission. I met this kid named Mark Music because I used to go to the Palace in Lantana.
I don't think I was. What year you talking about? Because I didn't get down until '94.
87.
Yeah, I wasn't here yet.
86.
But I've heard of it.
And the 86, 87 is when I really started writing raps, and I met this guy Bob Smith. Because this dude Mark Music heard my little raps and he was like, man, I want to introduce you to somebody. And he met me this guy named Bob who started the label that me and Johnny basically built. You know what I mean? So that was the beginning to me. That was when it got serious because I was working with Chocolate Star Records, which was downtown, Gary Davis. There was a couple gigs in town, but nobody that was, doing the rap thing at all.
Let me ask you a question,
Yeah.
Go. Now, at that era, when you're working Wendy's and shit like that, and now you're hustling on the side to try to but you're in the art industry now. Is that true? Or is that the way I'm understanding it?
Nah, so it was kind of like this, bro. Like for us, it was real mama and papa, ground up. Dude had a satellite TV business. He had a few $100,000 to play with. He had a crazy record collection, and he'd been in the music business in the end of DJing because him and Carlos Garcia, who you might know, he has a club on Southern Boulevard. I can't think of the name right now, but
it sounds familiar.
He's always had clubs. Him and Frank Garcia, Carlos and Frank.
Yeah, I know.
So they both had clubs in Palm Beach ever since, and Bob was kind of like a part of that union. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he had a couple of clubs, so. He had the DJ systems and he had speakers and he could, he knew how to run a whole club and build a club and he studied the music business, from reading Billboard and etc. like that, reading the liner notes. You know how we used to do with records back in the day. We read everything. So being that he did that and he had the knowledge and he saw me, he was like, do you want to start a record label? I was like, yeah. And the first person that came through the door was actually Jim Johnson.
Good dude, man.
At the end of '86, beginning of '87, and then Johnny was kind of like the second person or a second group of people that came.
Yo, you know what? Now that you mentioned Jimbo's name,
yeah,
you still talk to him?
I haven't spoken to him in a while. I follow him on the book. I went to see him race. We saw each other at Calvin's funeral. And then we went and chopped it up with him at his studio. But he moved to Tennessee. He's in Nashville. Right after Cooley died, though. This was years ago.
I'd love to have him on the podcast.
Huh?
I'd love to have him on a podcast.
Yeah, that's Jimbo's.
He's big, though.
Super private. Yeah, he's super private. And I don't know. That's a hard look.
Actually, I met him. Remember my boy Scola, right? John?
I'm sure I do.
I think I know you met him before.
The decks, bro.
Yeah. So he introduced me to Jimbo many years ago.
Okay.
At the I'm gonna say Yonkers Raceway. What is it, Moroso? Before they closed it.
Okay.
So Jimbo was racing. He was racing.
He still lives.
Yeah, his Porsches and stuff.
Yeah.
So there was another dude that we knew, a mutual friend. So, they introduced my son, Brian, to Jimbo. And,
okay, cool.
Sit in the car or whatever. So he was mad cool, very humble dude.
He is, man.
So that was a good experience. Because, usually people be acting ill, you know, but whack when you hit that celebrity status, yo, let me get a sandwich or something. But you know that's what you're getting into.
Yeah.
You know, but some people act kind of crazy, you know.
It's true. You know, but the other end of that, you gotta remember, right? Because I went around some of those people.
Mm-hmm.
So the other end of it is like, you know, you asked for it, you got it, right? That's what you're saying.
Right.
Kind of like you asked for the celebrity, so here's the fans, and you know they want love. And then the other end of it is like,
I can't
you
go
know,
nowhere.
it's just I'm having a bad day. Somebody in my family might have died,
Yeah.
and I gotta,
100%.
you know, I gotta still be cool.
Yeah, I agree
So
with
that
you
gets
100%.
that could be hard. You never know what somebody's going through. I remember they used to follow Guru around Club Boca, like it was, you know, and everybody's spitting in his ear. Yo, check this, and everybody got a 16 to spit in your face. Like, yo, man, can I just go get a drink, bro?
Yeah,
My
yeah.
people, like,
No, I've heard that from other
yeah,
celebrities, you know, like, yo, you know, Eminem saying that, yo, can I take a shit without people bothering me, you know what I mean?
yeah. I used to be
But-
one of those guys, bro. I used to call the labels and leave freestyles on the answering machine. I'm sure people hated me. I got checks out of that shit, but you know, I'm sure people at labels used to hate me.
But what's the saying?
Early 90s.
Squeaky wheel get the oil, right?
Bro,
If you ain't out there hustling
I
and
try to
grinding,
stop, and then it'd be like, come back. You belong here. You're not done yet.
if you're not hustling and grinding, it ain't gonna come to you. You gotta go out there and get it.
Whatever it is, man. You know, I always say like, I guess this is how I see it, right? The Rockefellers' plan is working because they created, you know, the worker bee. We need that. We need electricians are way more important than rappers, no doubt. You know what I'm saying? And doctors and whatnot. We need that, right? But we need people to build houses and et cetera, so on. But it's also like, yeah, to do this shit, you gotta be a special type of weirdo.
And what? Tell me when was your first actual? I'm setting my feet on the stage.
Man, my first shows, I had crazy stage fright back in the day, bro.
Well, I would imagine everybody would.
Nah, everybody on my crew was like, even Johnny. Johnny was the best. Like, you know, I could really rap, but I had stage fright, but I still did it. You know, I still got up there and rocked. I remember one show we did in Key West. I opened up for Gucci Crew. Jimbo was there, and they was booing me, and I was like, I think I threw the mic or hit somebody in the head with the mic, and I left. And they were like, yo, you didn't do the show. We're not letting you back in the room. I was like, yo, all my shit's in there. But my uncle was like the ex-mayor, so I called him, and they came with the Lincoln. Yeah, took us to breakfast and shit. Yeah, the whole vibe changed. But nah, it would have been bad. But yeah, I got over that.
Do you remember where was it at?
When I got over it?
No. Where you did your show? Where was that
I don't
show?
know where my first show would have been. I want to say my first show probably would have been like, where did we first do shows?
You're like the third person.
Rumors downtown. We used to rock at Cheers. We used to rock at something up in Palm Beach Lakes. A couple of them. One up in Jupiter. One off of Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard. What were the other? No.
Were they clubs?
Yeah. Symbols.
Like Flirts.
We did shows at Symbols.
But then you're talking way.
We didn't rock at Flirts. No. My boys used to fight at Flirts on what, Monday nights was it? They used to have a fight.
Yeah.
My boys were like the champions, but nah, we never rocked at Flirts. Funhouse, we definitely rocked Funhouse.
Was that Boca?
That was Frank Garcia's club at the Coco Plum Plaza up there.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
That was like, it was RJ's, and then after that, my boy Fern got it and turned it into an adult club. I forget what it was called, but yeah, we rocked everything in West Palm for sure. And then Fort Lauderdale, we rocked Decos back in the day. Cameo. There's a lot of, you know.
What songs have you guys put out?
Basically,
is it you or like your crew? How many people were in your crew?
Oh man, there was a lot of different people. So
5, 10.
So look, it was really like me and Bob started it. Jimbo and Gemini and I and Johnny talked Bob into buying the equipment, so we started buying drum machines
Okay.
and making our own stuff. And Jimbo really, and both of those dudes took over that. Then we ran into Jock, a DJ contest, this infamous contest at the Fun House, where Jock ended up winning, and Jimbo was the out of towner. So, but Jimbo was with us, and we wanted that $1,000 really bad. So Johnny, you know, went on a rant. Ended up making like, we heard about Jock. I'd already heard about Jock through my boy James Brown from First Street, JB Ski. So, you know, he came into the fold, and it was like, you know, Gemini was more of a writer, and he had a job. So that was what his thing was. We was running around, and you know, we was about this shit. And we still had little jobby jobs here and there, everybody, right? So I worked at Cumberland Farms. These dudes used to come and steal gas and take whatever they wanted every day, bro. It wasn't like every...
Same dudes?
You working? Yep, they could. Yeah, you know who? He was here the other day. Them dudes. They all used to just like rob me, and I ended up getting fired. But anyway, so, but yeah, that was like, we were music bums, pretty much, you know, with bullshit ass gigs. Like, we wanted to do this for real. And Jimbo and Jock really took over the production, and they built the foundation of the sound, you know.
What's can you say what Jimbo's company is? I see him on Instagram.
Jimbo has Rebel Rock Entertainment and Rebel Rock Racing. I don't know. I think his production house is called something else. I can't remember the name, but something Springs. But he's got a few different brands. Yeah, but the one that he's like really focused on, I see, because you can watch his in-car view of him racing the cars and everything, is Rebel Rock Racing. But it's on Instagram, I believe it's Fueled by 808. But he's you know, that's his next thing to conquer, man.
Yeah. Let me
he crushed the music, so he's gonna go crush the
No,
race.
you guys haven't.
It's hard. It is hard, bro. He's been doing it a long time.
You guys had that type of relationship, like you guys are boys.
Oh, he spoke. Yeah, I say it's hard, and it's also expensive too, because one of the times that we last talked, he threw a number at me like, "Yo, I spent this much," and I was like, "God damn, it's not cheap, and it's not easy to win in racing."
My question to you is, because of the relationship that you guys had, why didn't he stay with you guys to help you?
Well, you got level. So look, we had offers, right? I was a part. There's a crew I used to run with called 32 Ounce, and he had an idea for us. The idea was like, we want you to be like a modern day Beastie Boys, because we was already party animals, and we knew how to rap about it and make good shit. So it's just that the chemistry between us three was beautiful. It didn't add up. You know what I mean? There's some other deeper reasons, but like, I don't really want to, that's brother business.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? This ain't the place for that. But just at the end of the day, that didn't work out. And then you got to remember, in order for him to do what he did, it's kind of like, and I had the offers many times. He was like, you need to come around. What are you doing in New York? Because we were talking about other situations. Like, I had a guy that wanted to go up against iTunes. He had the placement to do it. It's just after everybody, he crunched the numbers, Jimbo's team crunched the numbers, some other, and it was just too much. iTunes was just, but it's a good idea. But like, so we kept in touch, and it's just kind of like, in order for him to do what he did, there's no time. Like, if you're not in my peripheral, it's kind of hard for me, And the other thing people don't understand is, a lot of people that are in those positions that are around my brother, they're not going to give those positions up. Yeah. You dig what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And the window was there. And people got to remember, yeah, we was down, we was riding the bus and everything like that. But not only, like, because I know it's creative process. So we have a lot of common, and there's a lot of things that I, like, fundamentally we're different, with music sensibilities. But I love everything he does, you know what I'm saying? And I know his talent, and I know where it comes from, so it's extra special to me, you know what I'm saying? I remember when it was like, and then you listen to like an Usher song or a Beyonce song, and it's like, and kind of the chemistry, because he's done Elevated, of course, but like, the root of the chemistry, so it's positive, man. Like,
that's good.
Understand. That's good. It's something that I was God ordained to start was that label, and through that, like I knew something beautiful was gonna happen, right? And so that in itself is enough.
That's
You dig what I'm saying? Watching that
100%.
dude do what he did is
You're
enough.
happy for his success.
Bro, how could you not be, man? Like, how could you not be? Like, we came from the same place. Listen, his mother left Boca, okay? This kid struggled for this, and she moved to Daytona, and he stayed behind because he knew if he went up there, he'd be out of touch.
Right.
Everything, his whole mind was Miami based then, because he was mostly a DJ and not known as a producer, but he was famous in the hood for being a dope DJ. So moving to Daytona would have been a negatory.
Would've
His
crushed
brother Joel
everything in
ended
his
up having to
dreams.
go, you know what I'm saying? But Jimbo ended up crashing like with me, with some other people, you know,
Whatever
like
it took.
whatever it took, bro. You know, trips to New York, bro. Oh my God. His trips, my trips, like on based on music, not just, you know, to live.
Chilling, yeah.
Just based on the music trips, like, yo, before when dudes had no money. Me and Jimbo were in a car on our way to New York one time. This is a true story with his friend Mike Morgan. We were in Mike Morgan's Camaro. We're on 95, and we see this dude like 5 cars in front of us shooting us a bird on I-95, dude.
Yeah.
So we're like, fuck, man, you know, we're gonna have beef on I-95, and like right outside of Baltimore, like on our way to New York, right? It was Jimbo's dad. Yeah, on 95. So that's how like frequently we was just on a mission.
That's some
Anyway.
funny shit right there.
Yeah.
He's flipping in the bar 95.
Yeah, and it was like, and it wasn't like planned. We didn't know he was going to New York.
Yeah.
We run into a dude in the car's father on 95. Like it's a small world after all. But no, I believe everything that happened was God ordained. There was a lot of people that wanted to do what we did, and God allowed us to be able to have the opportunity.
Did you ever get an opportunity back in those days, being Miami based or in the Keys based?
It was hard.
You know what I'm saying? Did you ever have an opportunity to collab with any artists on any songs that might be out there?
You know, yeah, there's people that have all of our bass music, you know what I'm saying? And then there's a lot of other projects that we did that are out there, you know what I mean? I'm kind of like a person that looks forward. I'm not really, that's like my creative side. Uh, Nothing I really want to promote.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know, cause the Spitco project, you know, definitely go check out the Spitco project on YouTube. Let's see, put Spitco, Expando, and then like the whole album and everything should fall out. But like the Spitco project, there's a couple of Bomb Threat projects that I did with my brother Cooley C, rest in peace, compilations that we did. You know, and my brother who just passed away, Diggy, he was the first of us to get like a major label deal. And that was like one of our first like 20 deep pilgrimages that we did to New York. Yeah, we all like
just living out of the bag.
Yo, here's the real dudes are sleeping in Central Park, waking up, go to the Village Pizzeria, pay for ask for 4 slices, leave the money for 1, and be out. It was like, you know, we were good, and the reason we were good is because we was with Johnny.
Yeah.
Right. So Johnny's family held me down in New York. You know what I mean?
That's what's up.
Yeah, and also another brother that another brother from Palm Beach that everybody knows. But so yeah, man, it's always been a rocky road with that, and but I also realized that like Jay had his turn. He's doing his thing, and now it's kind of like the game turned back to facing what I'm doing, and I'm also not the artist. I'm doing younger guys, you know. I'm shaping and
molding.
I'm being what I didn't have.
Yeah.
Bob was supposed to be that, and there was a limit on what he did for us. Like he wouldn't do any promotion for shows, which could have paid the bills for us.
Because of the money?
Bro, we had radio hits regionally. Had he like hired somebody to do that, we could have went out and got 3,000 a day for shows. You know, 4 or 5 days a week. But it was kind of like sporadic, like, you know, Breezy B, come on, open up for us. Or these guys, come on, rock with us. You know, we'll throw you something more. You know, Key West was a paid show, but it wasn't like what we wanted or what we even deserved. The other end of it is when the music business changed, they didn't change with it. So, everybody had to leave Bob. That was just growth. You know what I mean?
So what? So at this point in your life, or in your career as an artist, what's next for you?
Because I'm a shoe guy too. I went to New Balance, put me to
Ex-
school. But no,
Well,
what's next is I have a record label that I'm running, and I have young talent that is really, really.
You want to say the name of the record label?
So yeah, Southernmost Music and Media Group, and we're getting ready to have our first drops probably towards December, between now and December. But yeah, and I have a stellar team. So I got Jerobi White from A Tribe Called Quest. He's the chairman. I have a couple other people in there that are like just established, and the artists that we have are young and super talented. Like cut through. It's been a long time since somebody did a Hotel California or
I can't wait to hear some of that stuff.
Sexual Healing, just something that's general and cuts through genres. Just good music, man. The hip hop that we're gonna do is like real rappers. Singers are gonna be the real singers. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be good stuff, man.
Sounds good. And you said we should be looking.
I got a whole stable of young artists. Yeah.
We should be looking toward this for this December this year.
Before the end of the year.
Possibly.
I don't want to put no dates on nothing because there's still a lot. Like I'll say this. This is just getting established, and my brother Jerobi is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame now. The Tribe, congratulations to A Tribe Called Quest. Mary J. Blige. My favorite inductee is Big Mama Thornton. She wrote a lot of Elvis songs, Hound Dog and other stuff, and other people's stuff too. And they were all robbed back in the day. So
of course,
it's beautiful because rock and roll is really comes from black folks, and so it's good that they're going back and paying homage to the roots of what they do. You know what I mean? And what they built this Hall of Fame on. You dig?
Yeah.
Yeah, it matters.
Where's the Hall of Fame at?
Cleveland.
So
yeah.
What's
celebration is in October, I believe.
They do it like an annual.
Yeah. I think Tribe's been up a few times. This year they had like Kool and the Gang voting for them. Now Rogers. A lot of people spoke on them, and a lot of people voted them in. It's really not a lot of rappers that are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh no, not a lot.
Yeah, they're kind of, they feel a way about it. But I see the tables turning, and I'm cool with that. Like Mary J. Blige is a big one too.
Y.O.
Yeah, and she belongs to us. She belongs to hip hop. But another black woman in the Hall of Fame. Sade was up. She didn't get it. I hope she does. But Foreigner, a lot of good people got in. Kool and the Gang got in also.
Yeah. Yo, let me ask you a question. How did you and Tribe and Jerobi, how did you guys hook up and made friends?
So I had a plan in like 2002, maybe, and I was like, I got down with this crew. You might even know some of them, but I got down with this crew and we were doing whatever we was doing, Lou.
Yep.
And so I had a plan, buy this house, I'm gonna do that, and then all in the middle of that, my boy calls me and he's like, yo, I'm shout him out, by the way, DJ Stevie D. He calls me in the middle of doing my thing. And he's like, yo, man, this dude done took over my house. I'm like, who? He's like, ba-ba-da-ba-da from da-da-da-da-da, right? Maceo from De La Soul. So I was like, okay, cool. So I go back and, I'm on a mission, though. Mentally, I'm like, I'm done with music because it really didn't pan out. Like, financially, I was always rhyming and always a b-boy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like, I got to do something. So, so whatever, I come back, I meet them. That's a whole other story. And then, I met the guys from Tribe, like a couple of dudes from the Tribe, and they were like, yo, my one guy, he's like, yo, come get in the fight with me up here, in New York. And I was like, all right. And so I did. And then, so we really connected on a lot of levels. And I started, like, I'm hanging out with Kool Herc, in the same building, like my boy Billy Red, like they know each other on Shout out to Bill Ray, but they know each other on the first name. So it was just like, it was super positive, right? This time, going to the city, I kind of had the key. Like, people from New York were kind of jelly of the juice a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, who the hell is this?
Yeah, Miami. Come up
here.
here.
Tri-County Bandit. But look, so, yeah, man. So through that, you know, I built relationships, you know. And then, if nothing else, I built relationships. And then, like, Jay was somebody from the tribe that I didn't really know. I had been to a few shows and bumped into him in life and all that, but in the game or whatever. But I had never really gotten to know him. But I heard that it ended up that they ended up staying at my house one time because they got booked for something and it didn't work out, and they really had nowhere to stay. The guy didn't even have a hotel ready, or they got here early. I can't remember. But they ended up staying at my crib for a night. So him and another cat from Leaders of the New School and somebody else, right, from BDP. So they ended up staying at my crib. We recorded a song in the morning. I had a studio at the crib. This is in Miami. This is like the last 13 years. So, I don't know, 10 years ago, 9 years ago. Maybe less than that, 8 years ago. But then they did the album, and then Jerobi moved down here, and he was DJing, and I was like, yo, I gotta go hear what this is, you know. And so we just linked, you know. My brothers that know him, like they all love each other. They all been through like this game together for 30 years. So it's kind of hard not to have love for brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no
On
doubt.
a certain level, even if you can't hang with some of them, like in my situation, everybody's got that though. That's like in what we do, because you've been around somebody so long, you know, just tired of it.
Yeah.
They'd be like, well, John Hole, Hall and Oates, you know, they come in through separate doors. They do the show. They leave separately.
Yeah.
But they get that
next
shot.
level.
We're here to give them the chemistry on stage. They're still fighting now. Now they won't even perform together. But you know, it is what it is, man.
What? Let's talk about anything you got on the hot plate right now. What's?
It's all about the label for me and the talent and pushing it. So right now, I you know, the company is being structured. I've turned down a few offers, serious offers. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not right. I'm not settling. Plus, my chairman's not having it. You know what I'm saying? And the team's not having it. We're not settling. It's gotta be the right deal. We ain't on Shark Tank, buddy.
This is not 1975 where people taking advantage of the contract.
No, the whole point of us doing it on our own, because there's a label deal there. That's, you know, a serious one, like, you know, $50K a quarter. Nowadays, that's a serious label deal, right? And I'm like, nah, because the dude's not just, it's not adding up. You know, I think
Figure out the taxes and this and that, man. You end up with what?
Well, you know, in that case, I put it to you like this: as a producer, there's different levels of producing. Some producers make music and engineer, and some dudes do all of it, and some dudes find financing. Like movie producers, for instance, I know a few of them, but producers like come up with the money. Martin's fee is $5 million. We got to get him 2.5 to sign, and then when he's done with the work, we give him the other 2.5. He gets his $5 million before the movie's even out.
Oh hell yeah!
Right. So that's what a producer does. You got a financier, somebody who understands the game. I might lose this time, but I got enough that I can, you know, get you on the next. Yeah. You know. So that's really where the phase I'm in. I'm in the production phase on that level. The music's there, the structure's there, the reputability's there, the experience is there, the sweat equity is there.
No, man. Shit.
So, you know, it's just a matter of time.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
You have a large friend base down there in the Keys, or
My family, but
that's who your main supporters are?
But no. So look, for the most part, I have family members that are from Miami, live in Miami. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Cuban side mostly, and then there's some Puerto Rican Gonis too, right? It's Puerto Rican Spaniard Gonis, also. But so a lot of my cousins, you know, it's not like your family. Like I don't fuck with a lot of my cousins.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I curse on
Yeah,
I don't really, communicate with a lot of my cousins and whatnot, and it's not impersonal. It's just it is what it is.
yeah.
And not on my behalf, by the way, cousins. Love y'all.
Mm-hmm.
But like Johnny's like family is like I speak to Juan on a regular. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I talk to them more than I do.
Yeah, no, I know.
It'd be like that, but
It does be like
and
that.
I'm cool with that, man. We had a time where in the late '70s, early '80s, where our family was real cool like that. When I lived down in Key West, and we was just close. My aunt lived next to Key West High School, like it's still there. Like the house that she lived in, she built the house on top of the duplex that she owned, and there was nothing there before. It was like you could see the ocean from her. We used to eat breakfast. You could see the ocean from there. Super prime real estate now. And me and my cousin used to go fishing there, like 79, 80. Yeah, bro, it's crazy.
What?
Ride our bikes, catch white tips, because it would be such low tide that you could walk all the way out and fish in the channel.
I mean, that just to me, that would have been like my dream growing up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because I love the outdoors, fishing, boating.
I'm gonna be real with you. When I left Key West, it broke my heart, man. I was like, you know what? I need to get, because I was already at 12, 13. I understood have-nots just within my family,
right?
And like just, but I was like, and like I told you, man, that was like my first. I was 11 asking my mother for a Boston Whaler. Like that's not normal.
Hell no. My dad would have been like, shut your mouth.
Yeah, here's a Schwinn, but like a Boston Whaler, But I didn't know, that's when I learned. Because my friend down the street, first of all, my uncles and cousins had little boats and shit like that. But then, like, I had a friend whose father had a Viking craft.
Ooh.
Like a 36-foot with a fighter chair and everything.
Yeah,
and we used to go out every Saturday, bro. Like it was ritual. And so imagine doing that and then going out here. It's still beautiful here, but it's totally different.
That's a different world.
It's a totally different. And I was just kind of like, nah, I don't want to go out on drift boats no more. I want to get around on a little whaler. You know what I'm saying?
Your own thing.
Yeah, bro.
That is the life, man.
Listen, when you come to the island, you come in and you make a left and you go to Flagler Street and you make a right. I lived a block and a house in. So on Saturday, if nothing was popping with anybody in my family that had boats or whatever, I just walk a block and a half, ride my bike a block and a half with my bucket and my fishing pole. Yeah, it was dope, bro.
Bro, I do that nowadays. A little backpack with your lures and little weights or whatever, and
right.
Your cast net, and you're fishing.
Yeah.
I love the accessibility, the ability to access pretty much all these big parts of water, just and explore.
Yeah. Well, I gotta get back to a Boston Whaler.
Bro, my friend just bought his two sons a Boston Whaler. Bro, and these kids just stay in the water.
Right.
Your spear gun.
Yeah.
That's mostly what they do.
Oh, dude, we used to have all of that, but the slurp guns was like our thing. We would get slurp guns and catch tropical fish.
For your aquariums.
Yep. Suck them in. Yeah, and you could sell them.
Yeah.
Get money for them. But we used to keep a lot of them too.
That's such.
But we always caught dinner. Yeah, the family would so we had we were friends with the neighbors, and then some weekends first of all we had a Cuban restaurant across from the naval base on Duck Avenue, and we lived next to the plaza, so I could go in there and get a ropa vieja sandwich whenever I wanted on Cuban bread, bro. I felt super that was a really good time of my life, and it spoiled me. You know what I mean? Moving away from family like that, the restaurant, being able to fish. But yeah, we used to do fishing on Saturday, and then the neighbor would cook up all the fish, and then we would go get lobster.
You're making me hungry, bro.
Yeah, we would get lobster in the morning, and
What the hell?
Feast out.
Lobster in the morning. Lobster in the morning.
And it was no, we would catch them in the morning and then cook them about 3 or 4 o'clock. They'd be done. We'd be eating them out of foil.
No, but people do eat in the morning.
And bro, I don't know if there was rules on how big you could catch them back in '79.
Yeah.
But
back
we
then
didn't
probably
follow
wasn't.
any. We was like, what?
Shit. What rule?
Yo, I
You
think
doing
it's
this?
still, I
You
think
doing
it's
this in
still
the
kept
water?
it pretty decent though. Yeah.
I gotta change these mics up, man, because you notice how you, as soon as you pull back a little bit, it's just
Well,
you're not there.
Yeah,
I know
it's
these
bad.
are like, I think they're called directional. I mean, but these are shores. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, it's a good mic.
But damn,
I'm gonna put you up on the one to get after this.
I'm
all right?
serious because once I leave 10 minutes,
SM7B, sure. It's the one that every podcast has.
that round, long
Long
looking,
tube.
yeah.
SM7Bs. That's what I have in my house. That's like Quincy Jones used that as a setup for like the Michael Jackson.
The
album.
voice so comes across so much clearer and like
It's the best. That's why it's like, if you see it, it's almost standard for podcasts and for news.
Mm.
Anything where you're in a studio and you're talking live, like that's the mic.
yeah.
SM7B.
Yo, Goni, all right, so we're going on some time here. So let me get some final thoughts from you. All right.
I mean, man.
Hold on, let me ask you something.
Yeah, go.
What would be your advice to a young man or woman, lady, that's trying to get in the game, thinks they may have the ability, the skills, the knowledge to be an artist?
All right.
What would be your advice?
Ooh. There's so many factors that would depend on, right? Age, how long you've been doing it, how good are you at what you do. But somebody who's like ready to go and like has people that, so you got to understand that like make music from the heart. Don't try to make hits, and then you find the hits when they come from the heart, right? That's how the greats did it, and that's how come their music cut through worldwide. Like, you know what I mean? There's a lot.
Yeah.
The Stones are 97 and they can tour the world tomorrow and make millions because their music cut through and it touched a lot of people. So and the theory of music at that time is kind of like come from the heart, and we sift through, we put the bad stuff we don't like over here, and we give them the good stuff.
What advice would you tell them about the industry?
Okay,
Be
so
careful with
understand that it is a billionaire's business, even though you can do it through the internet now. You have to invest in yourself, and you definitely got to court money on many levels, and you definitely have. So the most important thing, there's a million guys with a million songs and a million videos on the internet, and the ones that make the difference. I don't know if you guys ever heard this saying, but hustle beats talent again and again and again. So I'll say this, and that's the truth. There's some very talented people who don't remember that now you got your music up, you have to promote it to people, because the whole point of you being known as an artist and people knowing your music is you putting it in their face so they can say yes or no, right? That's what it comes down to. So that's what you put your money into. If you're not going to invest in yourself or find someone who's going to invest in you, right? Then you just better have some ridiculously great music, and
What would you tell
you're
them
hoping
about?
for chance.
What would you tell them? Be
It's not a
careful
plan.
about the industry. What would you say? Why be careful about the industry?
I mean,
Would you say that? Would you? That's not an issue.
so okay, so you're gonna get me into something that I don't know if
You don't. We can do a part two.
No, I'm gonna. All right, we'll do another part, but I'm gonna tell you, right? So there's a lot of reasons why the music is garbage, right? And why there's really good music out there that nobody hears. You know who Karangbin is?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, but Salt. There's a lot of good music out there, right? But nobody would know that, and it's because they're promoting stuff that's keeping people dizzy, literally. Violence, sex, all of that. It's a part of life. It should definitely be reflected, but when it becomes the programming, it's a whole different thing. So, stay away from that. Like I said, stick to your heart. Don't make what everybody else is making. Always come from like a new place. A lot of artists back in the day used to practice not listening to the radio. They only listen to what they're making. You shut it down. Eddie Van Halen was one of those guys, and that's why he was one of the greats, because he's not focused on what everybody else is doing. It ends up influencing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then you're not cutting through right. You're here today, gone tomorrow.
Mhm.
You know, you can say what you want about Drake, and I have debates, but Drake stands out in the crowd, whether he's hip hop or not. That's a debate on you. But you know, and it's the same thing with like Buster. You know what I'm saying? He sticks to what he does, and he just improves that. You know what I mean? He's not concerned with what somebody else is doing, and that's why he ends up innovating and doing what he did with Chris Brown. That's why Drake ends up doing the stuff that he's done. Is like, you know, you gotta, that's the cut through, breakthrough stuff.
Bro, you know, Buster's gonna be down here next week.
He's always down.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, yeah. But then think about it. You're in a different world than I am.
Yeah.
Music wise, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know who's down here and who's always down here. I just see it from, you know, social media.
Yeah,
So,
Buster's one of our favorites. I always say he's probably one of the hardest to beat on a street corner. No mic, just a crowd. Like,
yeah,
versus him, I don't know. Even M might have a day.
Ooh,
M and him,
ooh.
street corner. Like, nobody can verses with them.
Bro,
You notice that?
I thought they were trying to do a cipher between them.
Did you notice that nobody verses with them?
No.
They can't.
I think Machine Gun Kelly tried some
it's not gonna work
some
out.
diss
Yeah, it's not
tracks.
gonna work out. Nah, he's
Just,
got his thing though. He's dope, but it's never gonna work out. Yeah, nah, nobody can diss him. You can't diss him. M earned his respect. He's a real MC.
Yep.
Yeah.
Going, so let's see. What's next for you right now?
I'm a grandfather, so that's like positive. I got
Congratulations.
4 grandbabies. Like what's next for me right now? Shout out to Shalia, Shanti, Shyla, and Mr. Isaiah King Johnson. You know what I'm saying? What's next is I'm telling you, I'm like one track mind. I'm focused on music and this label and getting this young talent to where it's supposed to be. Cause like, look, there's been a lot of waves from Miami and South Florida, and it's kind of dead right now. If you notice,
Yeah.
Pitbull's doing what he's doing. These guys are doing what they're doing. You know, a lot of dudes are, you know, Rose's still putting it out. He just put out a great song with LL Cool J. Y'all go check out that new LL Cool J album too. It's produced by Q-Tip. Super dope. But yeah, I'm just focused on making this happen because a lot of things come through this. You know, just a lot of good stuff on.
So there's a lot of good things to come.
Let me say
in the
this:
future.
it's not just music; it's fashion. You know, I represent the Miami Low Life Miami family and Low Life Orlando family. We are Flow Life as one unit. Shout out Thurston Howell. Shout out Box Success. Everybody, Nico is, Junie, all y'all, Big Earl. But you know, LeBronx, James, the #1 Polo Connect. Look him up on Instagram, Facebook if you need polo or anything really, really good. You know, he's legit and he's on point with it. I'm telling you, he's the #1 guy. LeBronx James, LA Bronx James. So, but yeah, I'm just focused on doing this because of the many different avenues that I get to be creative and I get to help other people achieve their dreams. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up.
Yeah.
If people want to get a hold of you, Goni, how would someone get a hold of you? Phone number, social media?
Nah, hit me on social media, man. At the Vibe Captain abbreviated CPTN on IG. Just DM me, man. That's or Aaron L Goni on Facebook. You could DM me there too. You know, but yeah.
What's up? Anything else you'd like to add before we kind of go into shutdown mode here?
No, man. I just
Anybody you want to shout out?
I know we've been trying to do this for a long time. Yeah, shout out Johnny Boogers. Shout out, you know, the whole crew, Big Vic. Shout out, you know, everybody that I love out here. I love Whipple Beach. I got a lot of friends and a lot of family here. Shout out Big G Skeet. You know, Georgie, Hiram. All my people, man. I love all of y'all. You know.
Yo, I appreciate you so
Alex
much.
Weir, Alex Weir, and all those dudes. Rick Sosa, and Jose Gonzalez, and yeah, your whole family.
The whole
Cuevas Torres clique. You know, and super big tears and rest in peace. You know, to one of my favorite people, Jalissa. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And but yeah, and rest in peace, Cooley C, and rest in peace, Fury. You know, a lot of Palm Beach greats, man.
Yo, I know you well connected up here, man. So
Yeah, it's family, man. I go back like
Boeing staircases.
Green Acres, bro, Carver Street, doing Toyo that we used to steal from Home Depot.
So, hey, you said statute of limitations gone on a lot of things.
I ain't even worried about it, man. You guys know Green Acres used to be Toyo land.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, Goni. Well, let me end it here.
He's like, why you gotta end it like that? You can chop this shit out.
No, I don't care.
You
about
can
that.
though, but yo, chop anything you want out.
Nah, I ain't chopping. This yo.
Actually, let me proof it before nothing.
Ain't no fluff in my platform, man. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
I do not edit.
Yeah, we do this again, but
people's
like, you know,
names. If you put it out there, it's because you wanted to put it out there, and hey, that's it.
anybody that knows me, man, knows I'm all about love and peace and positivity,
No doubt.
man. And I want everybody to do well. My plan is for us to be on somebody's island,
Oof.
you know, fishing, cooking that up, drinking whatever, smoking whatever, chilling, peaceful. That's it.
Always, no, you definitely, John. I mean, I'm sorry, Goni's always had those positive vibes.
Always.
Every time that we speak, it's like, yo, it's like I'm talking to knowledge. You know, my man just got so much up here.
Listen, some people want to get money, to be cool, to get women. I'm already all those other things. The only reason I want dough is to help other people, for the most part, and you know, have a good time a little bit. But I've already did all that. A good time for me is like knowing that my grandkids got a couple of buildings that they can sell if they need to.
Believe you want.
You dig?
No doubt.
Yeah. Lift the lineage, baby.
Yo, again, Goni, thank you so much for joining us today.
Appreciate you.
On our platform, which is a platform that allows anyone, right, not just first responder, anyone that has a traumatic, motivational, impactful story, and you came through light at the end of the tunnel. You know, maybe you want to share that story so somebody who may be going through the same scenario that you experienced, you might be able to give advice to somebody through the platform. So I welcome and I challenge people out there with impactful stories. Yo, come on the platform, right? You ain't gonna get paid, right?
Yeah.
This is pro bono,
Right.
but at least you're sharing something that might help somebody else. So it's like I'm thankful for those that helped me start this platform.
That's right.
Because without them, you know, they took a chance on an idea that I had, and they were like, all right, what you need? And boom, I set up the
You gotta
studio.
boost those posts, and you gotta buy ads. You know, we'll get into it.
So,
But yeah, and I just want to say follow Low Life Miami family on IG. You know, we do a lot of stuff for the community. We definitely give back. Low Life Orlando family also, follow them. And this is Flow Life, Low Life, Miami and Orlando chapters. And check it out. We have a little league team, two of them actually, Low Life Miami and Low Zone. Little league teams up in Orlando that we sponsor. You know, we do backpack drives. We do
nice.
Yeah, we do a lot of stuff in the Miami community. We're trying to even do more. So, you know, get in touch if you want to help. You know, if you want to tie in. Yeah.
So, yo, y'all hit them up. Hit them up on Instagram or social media. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or that need some direction, hit them on social media, man.
Yeah, definitely. DM, man.
So,
that's how
again,
we do it now.
Thank you so much, Goni, for today's
Appreciate
episode,
you, man.
and
You
I
already
can't
know.
wait.
My brother.
I can't wait to put this on a burner.
The realest B-boy right here.
Finish it and finish it.
He goes back like graffiti and breakdancing.
Oh,
that's right.
So yeah, thank you again. And with that,
Appreciate
ladies and gentlemen, thank you for following us. Don't forget to subscribe and support us. All right?
Peace.
Peace.